I am Kim Graves, and this is Jessica Ausbrook, and we are here from Solidarity Community Federal Credit Union, and this is The Ripple Effect. Oh, how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Good. Feel like we're running around in circles.
That's right. Always.
And making connections in our community and all the surrounding communities.
That's right. We have a very special guest with us today, Kim.
We do?
We do. Jason LeBron James, right?
LeBron?
What? Sure.
What?
We'll take
Jason
it.
Braun is here from DadCamp.
But wait, can we shoot some hoops when we're done?
We can. It wouldn't be very good because I'm Canadian by fault and I'm not that great.
Do not say anymore.
Even though the current NBA MVP is Canadian. We'll throw that in.
I got to get that one in, don't you?
So, yeah.
Okay, so let's start from the beginning. How did you end up in Kokomo?
Whoa. Honestly, it was the way I tell the story briefly and quickly is I was a baseball player, and in Canada, baseball wasn't a big thing. And so I was one of the first recipients in my area of Canada to get a scholarship in the U.S. to play baseball. And so I came actually to Indiana, of all places, and played at Little Huntington University, where I met my wife, who's a Kokomo.
Yeah, I love that.
So,
Wow.
I love that. What a great story.
All the way from Canada to Kokomo?
Oh, yeah, we just want to add something in. I don't know if you're a baseball fan or not.
very much so.
Okay, have you been watching the A's?
A little.
Okay, so we have a Kokomo Jackrabbit who is playing for the Oakland A's right now, and
That's phenomenal.
It's so fun to watch.
Ooh.
Yep,
Ooh.
Denzel Clark. It's very exciting. We should talk about DadCamp, though. That's why Jason is
can.
here.
Oh.
Let's start with the beginning of DadCamp. Tell us first a little bit about what it is.
What it is, DadCamp is, was started here in Kokomo in 2006, which I love to share that because it began right here in little Kokomo. Doug Migrant, and myself co-founded DadCamp as we were on staff at a little church called Ausbrook Church in the time, and we just our mission is to build stronger fathers who build stronger families. We created DadCamp because of our passion to see men in our community just lead their families a little better, to just be more engaged, to be building relationship and leading the way in their families, being that we saw the effect that a disengaged dad was having on the family unit, and when a father is engaged, the difference there. And we just said, what can we do to help equip and strengthen and remind dads of how much they matter,
Right.
To create a place? And so it's hard to reach men. Guys are really difficult to connect with, and for them to show up to things, especially things they're not familiar with, not comfortable with. And so it kind of began with this thought of, we know a lot of guys that may not want to go to church. They may want to have deeper conversations about whatever. But we've never met a guy that looked us in the eyes and said, I want to be a bad dad to my kids.
That's right.
Yeah.
Probably haven't.
And so we thought, why don't we leverage that to reach their hearts? And so we created what we call DadCamp, which is just locally, it's a weekend type of experience where actually kids join their dads for a weekend, where dads are reminded how much they matter. Kids get their dad all to themselves for a weekend, and they get to build and strengthen their relationship. And kids love it, and dads love it, and they keep showing up. And so that was the spirit of it. We just wanted to. There's just not much out there for dads.
You're absolutely correct.
There's a lot out there for kids. We always say, DadCamp is not another kid event where dads join their kids. It is a dad-focused event where kids join their dads.
I like that.
And so that's what makes it different and unique. And when men come, that's what they say. I thought this was just going to be another fun weekend for my kid, which is great, but it actually poured into me, and that's what makes it unique.
Dads matter.
Yeah, kids need good dads.
Yeah.
They absolutely do.
Kids
do.
need good dads. They do. They absolutely
Well, let's
do.
start off by saying hello to Doug. I know he's
Hi,
not
Doug.
here
Hey, Doug.
today.
Hi,
Hey,
Doug.
Doug.
Yes. Love Doug.
So, this is really developed, and it's not just here in Kokomo. Originally it started here. So now where is it?
So, 2006 we started here. Really for the first 10 years, it was kind of a local effort, a local expression of what DadCamp is. But it just kept growing and growing and growing. And at the time, I was also on staff at Ausbrook Church, and I was a part of leading teams internationally to do outreach. And we, at that point, just doors started to open for DadCamp. And we just said, what would that look like? How would we do it? And so we thought, let's create a high school expression of DadCamp. So DadCamp has, it's for school-age kids and their dads. So elementary kids and their dads, middle school kids and their dads, and then high school. But at the time, we didn't really have a high school expression. And this is about 2015, 16 kind of time frame. And we thought, well, why don't we make DadCamp High School a serving trip, a mission trip experience where a dad and a child would go together and serve together. And for a dad to say to his son or daughter, look, life is best lived when it's in the expression of serving and loving other people. That's when you really find purpose and fulfillment in life. And so let's go on a trip, let's serve together, let's talk about it, and let's be on mission together. And so that's how it started. But then after a couple of years, a couple of dads were like, well, every year on any mission trip of any kind, people ask, what's the project? What are we going to do? How can I be of value? Is it a good fit for me? Is it not a good fit for me? And after a while, we're like, why wouldn't the actual project, why wouldn't the actual mission of these trips be to go and actually put on a DadCamp event in that country for those dads, for those kids? And we're like, yeah, why wouldn't we do that? So we started in Haiti, and fast forward since then, and doors have opened and now in 21 countries.
Holy cow.
And this year we'll be serving more than 15,000 dads and kids in those countries.
Goodness.
So
That's huge.
It is incredible.
yeah, we had no idea. We had absolutely no idea.
And it all started here.
And it all started right here.
Right here.
It's such
by you guys.
a great
Yes.
example of
Exactly.
seeing a need and filling it.
So I
Just being obedient to
Yep.
what we feel like what we were supposed to be doing. And
I do have a question, and this might be a little bit of a challenging question. So I know she laughs at me, but there are some children out there that don't have dads.
Absolutely.
And
Too many.
there's too many. And so, but there's mentors, or there may not be mentors. Has your program thought about this or developed something that kids that want to be a part of this, or dads that want to take that challenge on?
So twofold, Kim, and you're right. Too many kids don't have a dad. I think in the United States, most recently, we're talking about 1/3 of all children in the U.S. don't have a biological father in their home. And so we're seeing the impacts that is having. Like 70% of all the problems that are unraveling our families, like kids that struggle with anxiety and depression and mental health and addiction and domestic abuse and teenage suicide, and the list goes on and on and on. But if you look at each one of those problems by themselves, and you're like, what is going on? What is driving all of this? That in about 70% of each one of those, you'll find a weak, absent, or disengaged dad. So if you just get dads back in the game, you see when dads are actually engaged and present and loving and serving their families well, that those issues are about 70% less prevalent in those families.
That's great.
And so that's what we're trying to attack. And so you're totally right that we have way too many kids. And so the way that, that we're trying to attack that is the reason that kids are at risk for the most part in our world today is because they don't have a father that is leading the way well. And so our mission is actually just get dads back. And so while there are, there's so many issues and so many problems, the way that we're trying to attack it is let's reach one dad at a time.
Yeah.
And while there are kids that don't have a dad, so we have partnered over the years, some great events with Bridges. I know you guys probably are aware, with Bridges Outreach, they have mentors that they provide to those students. We've done mentor days where
I love it.
where the mentor shows up alongside of his student, and we just build a day where they can build their relationship.
That's awesome.
We encourage if a family. Say it's a single mom, say it's just where she's like, man, I would love my child to be able to go be at a dad camp, but his dad is not engaged. So we're like, hey, do they have an uncle? Do they have a grandfather? Do they have any male role model can come with that child?
Right.
And so we try to encourage that process as well. But we're trying to go deeper. And so while there are so many millions of kids without dads, we're trying to go. The focus here is not of the weekend. Kim, you say a lot of kids may want to go, but they don't have a dad. Our focus is dads, not the kids. And so we want to attack at that level. And then hopefully over time, we're going to start to see less and less kids growing up without a father.
Yeah. That's tough.
It is very tough.
You could go in the court system and say, hey, while you're paying child support, you got to go to dad camp too.
Yeah. I think that's a great idea.
like it.
I'm just thinking outside
Yeah.
of the box.
I
So,
like it.
by the way,
By the
I
way.
think that's a great idea. I love that. So dad camp, both girls and boys can go with
Yes,
dad. Is
absolutely.
that right?
Yep. Yep. We do dad-daughter events, dad-son events. Some of our events are co-ed. So it's just whatever works best for that context, that community, that venue.
So what if you have more than one kid?
Yes.
Do they all come?
We encourage, again, because it's dad-focused, not kid-focused. Dad, you go and take one of the kids, and then Dad Camp is seen as an annual event. This is not hey, I did Dad Camp, I'm done. We change the content every single year. So we see it as an annual event that you go as a dad to get re-equipped, retooled, add tools to the tool belt to become a better dad. And so if you have multiple kids, hey, this year take that son,
Yep.
next year take daughter, next year take the other child. And then you can start, okay, now we're going to cycle back through again. So there's that. You can bring more than one. It is an option, but we always tell the dads, hey, the more kids you bring, the less focus you're going to be able to have on you, because you're going to be so worried about and focused on taking care of multiple kids over that weekend versus just that one that you can. And we love the idea of one-on-one where they can focus on that one relationship. And so whilst, I have 3 kids of my own. So over the years, I had to tell my kids too, hey, this year it's your turn. Next year it's your turn. And when we had that conversation, I would still do things with the other kids
Sure.
outside of that to make sure that, hey, you're not going to dad camp this year, but we're going to do this instead. Next year, you'll go to dad camp with me and we'll do that instead. It's kind of the play.
so you have different tools that
Yeah.
whole entire weekend. So like the child may attend one thing while the parent's attending something else, but then yet they do things together.
80% of the event, they're together. Maybe 75, and then the other 25%, we have 4 sessions, what we would call, or 4 hours over the course of a weekend where dads stay with dads. And we do discussions, we do teaching, we provide a book to them usually every year that will maybe dive into that a little bit. They get to take that home with them. So we theme it out around that particular resource. And meanwhile, the kids are out having a blast with our student teams, and they've got their own kind of activities that they're doing. And then we bring the dads and kids back together for intentional one-on-one conversations. And then kind of the highlight, the unique thing of every dad camp is every child at every dad camp will be blessed by their father at one point in that weekend. And we make that experience and moment different every single year. They have a different type of moment. And that is a powerful, powerful thing.
So
huge.
if folks don't have a church home,
Yeah.
and is this open to everybody?
Absolutely. Dad camp is for dads. It's not for a Christian dad or an unchurched dad. We have dads, unchurched men come. We have men that don't ascribe to any faith come. We have men that come from all different faiths that come. We are a faith-based, Christian-centered organization. We are unashamedly that. But what we will also say is we've never had a dad come that would not ascribe to that said, oh, I'm not glad I came, or I felt uncomfortable here. They've all come back. They all come bring their friends, and they just love the opportunity to be in that environment, to grow as a father and to do it alongside of their child.
So when's the next dad camp in Kokomo?
In Kokomo, it would be July, the last weekend of July.
Okay.
It's a high school event. We have 2 high school events that will start. And then we're going to be going 13 straight weekends, nonstop, starting in July through October. And the high school 2 weekends are full, but the other weekends are all father-son, father-daughter elementary. And I think all of them still have a little space.
Okay, how do we sign up? How would we get
Yeah.
ourselves signed up for that?
Dadcamp.org.
Dadcamp.org.
Real easy.
Peasy.
There's a register. There's an events page. You can see. We have 24 events in Indiana this fall.
That's great.
Over the course of 12 weekends. So about 2 per weekend that are happening somewhere in the state. We have 5 Indiana locations.
Wow.
So you don't just have
That's
to go in
huge.
Kokomo. You can go an hour and a half north. You can go an hour and a half southwest. You can go 2 hours south. And there's awesome, awesome places to go.
That's great.
Now, you mentioned something about a book. Did you
Yeah.
guys write a book?
We've not
for
wrote a
this?
book.
Okay, I wondered if
No,
you
not
had written
yet.
a book.
I
for
get
this.
Are those
asked-
the books I saw when I walked in?
Yeah.
Oh, I'm taking one.
I get it. Not my book.
Oh, not your book.
I've
You
been
took in
asked.
someone else's book.
There's a
Yes,
box
that's
of them
someone
out
else.
there.
I saw those books
Yeah,
too.
I was like, whose book is that?
yeah, I might check one out too. But no, we've been asked, man, when are you going to write a book? When are you going to write a book? You have so much now over almost 20 years. But to this point, I just read a lot of different materials that are out there. And I just, if one strikes me and hits me, then I'll be like, I can build something around that. I can
Right.
create some moments and experiences, and that's kind of how we do so far.
That's pretty good.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yes.
you're
So they
making
get
it. You're making a huge difference. And I mean, not only are you making a difference for the child and the father, you are doing it for the mother as well.
Well, 100%.
I mean, that's
Yeah.
huge.
Yeah, we actually, now that you bring that up, Kim, last year for the first time, because we've had a lot of people say, maybe organizations that maybe want to invest in DadCamp or people that are just interested in knowing more, like, how do we know that DadCamp actually works? And, for 18 years, we were like, well, we have story after story after story of families. We have a track record of 20% growth every year for 18 years in a row. So we know that something's working or they wouldn't keep coming back. But we don't have actual like metrics to like,
How would you though?
that kind of thing. So we last year we conducted our first research study. It is data saturated, statistically significant, and it's being published by Baylor University.
That's incredible.
It's coming out here really soon. But we just got back in the last couple of months, we got back the initial kind of results and the reporting on it. And speaking of marriages and wives, we actually surveyed wives as well, not just the dads. And we also surveyed kids, students, high school students, like, how has this impacted you? Have you seen a change in your father? What kind of changes have you seen? And as far as wives and marriages, 87% of the women that surveyed said that DadCamp improved their marital communication.
I love that.
Wow.
87 marital
That's
communication.
huge.
It is.
Yeah.
And just over half of the women said that they would have rated their husband poor to fair in his parenting before DadCamp, and now rated as strong.
I love it. That is so incredible.
That was actually for us. We were almost more encouraged, as much encouraged by like, man, the feedback from the wives and the kids about their own dads and their husbands.
And when it comes to parenting, women aren't generally nurturers. They just
Yes,
are.
right.
And
Absolutely.
it is to get the dad in there and mom and dad working together to parent, it changes lives. We know it does.
It does.
People say all the time, when are you going to do mom camp? and we're like, hey, you wouldn't want me doing mom
It's
camp
also-
for one.
it's different.
And it's
Yeah.
so different. But we've always said, moms are crushing it. Like they
yeah.
are the nurturers. They are the glue of every
Steady.
single family.
Yep.
You never hear, I've never heard the term deadbeat mom, but you hear deadbeat dad. And so we've said we want the way we support moms, the way we do mom camp is doing dad camp, because dads are going back into their homes and re-engaging with their wives and saying, look, I got to step it up here. I need to support you. We need to do this together. This is not all on you. This is a together thing.
Well, kudos to you guys for, coming up with this great idea, and then it's expanding out. And it's helping the homes, helping the wives, helping the kids, helping the husbands, dads, AKA, and you have the kids that, may not have a dad that's around, that you've even thought that much into taking it, that extra step. That's amazing, because there's so many people that need this assistance to make their household function.
Absolutely. And even like someone that would say, hey, I'm a pretty engaged dad. Like I thought when we started DadCamp, like I'm a pretty engaged dad. Like,
I started DadCamp, right?
yeah, but I've grown more than any man on planet Earth because of DadCamp, and I'm a better man and better dad for it.
I love it.
So no matter where you're at in the spectrum of like how engaged or how strong of a dad you think you are, we can always get a little better.
Right.
No matter if I'm completely disengaged from my family and my kids, or I'm really engaged. We can always, we kind of cover the gamut.
Well, we need to survey your wife to get those true
Yeah,
answers.
that is true. Yeah. Next guest.
That's right. That's right. Again, Jason here with us from DadCamp. Jason, any last thoughts you want to instill on the viewers today?
Yeah, I think Kim kind of just mentioned something earlier about the fact that dads are getting stronger and families getting stronger. What we're so thankful for, and what we are proud of, is that makes your community stronger.
Yep.
Because when the family unit strengthens, the community strengthens, and when the community strengthens, the city strengthens. And so, being that Kokomo is the home base of DadCamp, really, we're thankful for that, and like the most men that DadCamp has impacted have been here locally. And for now,
right now.
yeah, for now. And so, and then as I'll build on that so things are really exploding in Kenya right now, of all places. Like in the 21 countries, Kenya, there's an organization called Compassion International, and this is just kind of another one of those stories of like, does this work? And this is, so I've shared a little bit about what's going on locally or what's going on in the United States, but internationally, indirectly, Compassion International, which is, if you haven't heard of them, they're a massive, huge organization. They're sponsoring, I think, about 3 million children around the world. That's what they try to do is they try to help release children from poverty all over the world. And so we indirectly bumped paths about 1.5 years ago. And the story is just something that kind of wakes me up every day and is like, this is crazy. But so there was Compassion works through local churches all over the world to sponsor children. We did a dad camp at one of these Compassion churches, not because it was a Compassion church, just because this church said, hey, we heard about you. Would you come do a dad camp for our dads and for our families? And so our team, we have a team in Kenya. We have 4 international directors.
Wow.
One is in Kenya. So he took his team. They did a dad camp there. And that was that. We didn't think much more of it other than we just got a chance to go serve at this.
Pretty cool.
2 weeks later, Compassion, they have they do these parenting classes for expectant families that are going to be having children. They invite them to come to these parenting classes. They just help them, train them how to be a parent, how to raise a child. Mm-hmm. And they do these it's part of their regular rhythm of what they do. So it just so happened that 2 weeks after this dad camp event, there was a parenting class. Never in their history, anywhere in the country of Kenya, this is what we were told, had a father shown up at a parenting class. They're always invited, but only the pregnant mom had ever shown up. Not just at this one church, but all over Kenya, at all the classes. They said, we've never had a dad show up. They're invited, they never show up. So there were 14, they said, pregnant women in that community that they had sent the word out to. So they expected up to 14 women. It's an optional thing, totally voluntary. So the day of this training came, and all 14 women were there, and 13 men were in the room.
No kidding.
And Compassion was like, "Why are you here?"
What are you doing?
like-
What are you guys doing here?
And they're like, "Well, we went to this thing called Dad Camp a few weeks ago," and they're like, we were reminded about how much we matter, and we were reminded about how much our wives need us to engage with them together and raise our children together. So we thought this might be a good idea that we should come to this class today. And Compassion was like, who's Dad Camp? What are they? And so that led them reaching out to us, which led us to, when I was last 2 times ago in Kenya, in their national headquarters. And they said, look, we've got over 300,000 children in this country, which means there's probably 150,000, 200,000 dads. Mm-hmm. We want to give every single one of those dads a dad camp experience. Can you do that for us?
No pressure.
Exactly. So
Sure.
Okay, I'll do our best.
And we're like, yeah, there's 6 of us on staff, and
We'll pack up. We'll be there.
So that is where we're headed right now. We are praying and seeking next steps on how to do that. We're not going to be able to do that many, but we'll do some. We'll do as many as we can allow. So that's how the impact of Dad Camp is what it's having on fathers, on families, not just here but all over the world. And we need this little community of Kokomo to keep supporting us and pushing us on, because we've got a lot of dads to reach.
So you say support, and maybe you're a grandpa and your kids are grown. Maybe you're a grandma and you want to support Dad Camp. Mm-hmm. How do we do that if we're not attending? Yeah.
So, I mean, you can serve, you can volunteer, you can go to our webpage and just be like, contact us and just say, hey, how can I serve? How can I help? Because all of these events locally, we run those events, and we need big volunteer teams to help serve a meal, come out and help with canoes, and come out and help at check-ins, and there's all ways you can serve. Of course you can give. I mean, that's a huge
always accept donations.
We have a donate page. It's all tax deductible, all that kind of stuff, and that goes straight into scholarshiping and supporting reaching fathers, not just locally, but very locally, and then all over the world. So that's your your 2 million. And we if you're a faith person, I would say pray for us. I mean, we really appreciate prayer. Because
you may have somebody that wants to participate, but they're like, I don't have the money to do this, so therefore, no, we're not going to go. We don't need to do that. I'm sorry, it's just going to be this way.
That's why we fundraise, right? Yep. It sure is. All right, Jason, Dad Camp. How do we find you? How do we donate? How do we get involved?
DadCamp.org, place to go. You can find us in basically every social media. You can follow us on Facebook or Instagram. That's kind of we have a YouTube page. Like we've got some pretty funny videos there and some really good visionary videos there. If you want to just see it in action, check out our YouTube page. There's a lot there to check out. Check out what, social media. But our webpage is a good place to be, and you can contact us and we will get back with you very quickly.
That's great. Jason Braun with us from DadCamp. Wrapping things up here. This is Kim Graves. I'm Jessica Ausbrook. We're from Solidarity Community Federal Credit Union. Thanks for watching.